All right, it's on.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today we have Breakup Podcast number 11. 11 is actually one of my lucky numbers, or my lucky number, so hopefully it's a good one. Today we're going to talk about Corey Wayne's 7 principles to get an ex back, or my principles to get an ex back. Actually, I made a video about Corey Wayne's 7 principles to get an ex back a long time ago, years ago, and I'll be honest, I don't remember the principles. So we're going to talk about that today. So the reason why I'm talking about that is someone sent a story in and they said they're going to follow those 7 principles. But I bet from the viewers that are usually on my live stream, someone's going to know the 7 principles or put it in the comments below. Anyhow, if you like this video, throw me a like. If you don't like it, it's better to have an opinion. If you want to subscribe to the channel, hit the red button, and we will have live streams every day this week at this time. So live streams every day this week at this time. I'm committed for 1 full week at the same time every day. And it will be primarily unpacking real breakup stories that have been sent in to my website. And I'll give you my take on them. Also, if someone's in need during the live stream, they're really going through it, I will consider doing a live phone call via Skype. That is available. It will have to be a story that you want to share, not just something that you just want to talk, right? Because as I'll say in a moment, some of my principles would be, number 1, to know your story. So getting into it today, before we get into the story part, there's about four stories on deck. Before we get into that part of it, if I had 7 principles, right, and what I'm going to recommend to people, if you want Corey Wayne's 7 principles to get an ex back, he obviously has a video on that. I reviewed that video a long time ago, and I possibly could go back and do that again. But I was thinking to myself, I'm not sure without going back and looking at it, because this email just came in last night with the story to writemac.com. And the guy ended the story with, I'm going to follow Corey Wayne's 7 principles to get an ex back. And so I said, okay, I made a video about that. Maybe to revisit that and make that a topic today. So I'm not going to go over his principles because I've done that already, and there's already a video on that. What I'm going to do is say this. Your approach in your breakup is unique to your situation. So that's something you need to get really clear on up front. Your approach in your breakup is unique to your situation and where you're at in your own life. And so anytime, and this isn't in any way a knock on the 7 principles by Corey Wayne, because I'm sure they work for some people, and I like Corey Wayne. I like the advice he gives. He's a stand-up dude in my book. But what my approach is, at the core of everything, starts with your story. I know it's a broken record on this channel if you watched before. At the core of everything is your story. So you want to start there, because a lot of times, and you need to write your story out honestly, send it into writemac.com or send it into Corey Wayne. Get his take on your story. Get another breakup coach's story take. But that's at the core, because you need to realize the story you're telling yourself about your breakup. If it's victim-based, if it's problem-based, is it solution-based? Is it things will never get better? Is it highly dramatic? What's up, Oscar? What's up, Roller Girl? What's up, Lofty Quins? That's really important. I don't know that Corey Wayne says it in that way. And what I would add is, whenever you go to some of these other YouTube channels, if you're doing something as a quick fix, or you're doing something in the sense that this might work, just ask yourself, what are you chasing? I respect Corey Wayne too. This isn't in any way negative towards him. I'm just saying, from the person, the coach that I've become and what I've done over the last few years compared to when I first started doing this, there is no recipe that works for all breakups. So that's it. That's where people get mixed up. Well, if I do this, this, and this, it'll work, right? If I do this, this, and this, it'll work. No. Wow, David, you've read that book so many times. Do you know the 7 principles to get your ex back? I know you're a big Corey Wayne fan too. Or the top 3, because when I read this email yesterday, I said, okay, I've reviewed this, but I don't remember the principles. And so what I'm going to do today is talk about my own principles. And I would say that number 1 would be writing out your story fully and completely. Number 2, go to someone that you respect. And not just because you respect them because they love you or they make a lot of money or they're great in the gym. Respect them because of the way they've handled their love life or their relationships. So if you look at them, and usually people that have really good relationships have a lot of other things dialed in. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you look at those people in your life. That being said, really good people can be manipulated by bad people. That's just how it is. When people say like, oh, life's not fair, unfortunately, that's the law of nature. If you go to the zoo and you see a team of monkeys playing around, there's always someone getting picked on in the monkey group. There's always someone, like there's a big male monkey that runs the show. It's not fair. Like nature's not fair, right? I mean, is it fair that a lion has giant teeth and can kill way more animals than anything else? Is that fair? Not really. Not if you're a smaller animal that lion eats. It's not fair. The reality is it happens and you have to deal with it. So going back to when you get your advice, you write, number 1, I would say write out your story. This would be my approach. Write out your story thoroughly, honestly, and don't hold anything back that you think. If you're going to share the story and you're like, oh, I don't want to put that in, that might make me look bad, or that makes her look bad, then don't go to that person because you're too insecure to share it with that person. You should go to someone that's honest, objective, non-biased, and you respect them. So then they get their opinion or their take. Listen to what they have to tell you, even if you don't like it. And the reality is sometimes when you don't like something, maybe that's what you need to hear, right? I've had that many times in coaching sessions, like, oh, wow, I didn't look at it that way. Kind of makes them wince. Because everyone wants to be a hero. Everyone wants to be right. Everyone wants to. I take that back. There are some people that like being victims, and that's another reason why you need to, or identify with it. You need to help them out with that. So write your story, get someone's take that you respect, and then really, really give yourself some time away from the breakup to ask yourself, do I even want this? Or am I just being lonely, or do I just want intimacy? Do I really want to be back with this person long term? Because if your relationship was long term, as in 2, 3, 4 years, you're a boyfriend, girlfriend, you were going to be together. If you get back together, are those problems, issues, or character flaws in the individual going away? And if you can't really say that honestly, you got to ask yourself: is it time for me to just start recovering from this? Now, if you want to get them back, the flip side of this is you need to know what the problem is, right? It doesn't mean you need to give in or you need to change who you are. You need to know what the problem is. Why did you break up? Why did she break up with you? Why did you become the person that she broke up with? Or vice versa, if it's he, she, he, or he, or she. Could be all of those, right? Identifying what the issue is. And a lot of people don't do this. All they do is get caught up in their feelings. I miss you. I love you. I hate you. I miss you. I love you. I hate you. And then they go, how do I get them back? I don't want to feel this way anymore. But they haven't really thought about, fuck, it's never going to work. It's actually not going to work. It's actually not going to change. It's actually going to be the same result in a year or 2 years from now, even if we do get back together. I know that's been the case in some of my breakups where you're just like, wow, we're not going to be able to overcome this anytime soon. Like, this person is not willing to change. Now, if you're away from each other for a year, 6 months, 9 months, year and a half, sometimes people do some really big changes and they go, you know what, actually those things that you had a problem with me about, I'm willing to change. So I'd say number 3 would be identifying the problem or problems and ask yourself, are those problems fixable? Are they non-fixable? Are you willing to work on them? A lot of times people go, oh, I think we should go to a marriage counselor or someone, basically a referee who tells you who's wrong and who's right. But that doesn't matter if you don't agree with the referee. If you don't agree with the therapist and they're giving ideas of what you should and should not be doing, keep in mind it's one person's opinion. PhD or no PhD, master degree or no master degree. It's one person's opinion. If you don't agree with it based on your body of work and your beliefs and your identity, it's not going to vibe. It's not going to go anywhere. So after you've received that advice, Zuki818, how you doing? Colorado's finest. So once you get to a point, okay, so we have an error now. What's this about? Once you get to a point where you've done those 3 things, write your story out, get someone's opinion, identify the problems after you talk to someone, because sometimes the problems don't bubble up till after the problem's been dissected with someone else. It's a really good word to say, dissected, unpacked, because a lot of times you're just giving out little pieces of it to your friends and family that you want them to tell you. I'm doing well, Mr. Slammin. Good to hear from you, bud. 1, 2, 3. I'll get to your question in a moment, Dahmer. How do you stop being jealous, though? I'll talk about that in a moment. Going back to this topic, though, so you get your story written out, you identify the problems. What's the next step? This might surprise you. This is what I would recommend. Honest self-reflection of who you are right now. A self-analysis, a man in the mirror moment where you go, who am I right now? Where am I at in my life? Right? And that's a really tough one to do, because everyone wants to blame their ex or their situation. And the reality is, okay, I'm alone right now. I'm on my own. Who am I? What am I? Where am I headed? How's my health? How's my finances? How do I feel about the way I look? How's my spirituality? How do I feel about my free time? Am I getting in line with some goals? These are all things that actually, once you're single or once you're broken up, you need to take a look at them, because this is an opportunity to put 100% into them. And I believe that this gets lost as the opportunity in the breakup, because during the relationship, you're constantly negotiating your time, your resources, and what you want to do with an individual that you're with. Now, some people go, oh, I would never do that. A lot of people do. A lot of times that's why you broke up. And so when you get into that, I would say the 4th level, to me, the 4th principle is to honest self-assessment of where you're at in your own life and where you're headed. Then once you get to that point, create some kind of goals, some kind of things that you want to shoot for. A lot of times people go to the gym. That's a great one. A lot of times people put all their heart and soul into their job. That's a great one. And so on and so on. But after that step, I would also say that give yourself some time, and I don't know if I want to use the word isolation. Give yourself some time alone where you go for some walks alone and just do some deep thinking about your relationship and whatnot, without the peanut gallery, without an arena of people or friends or family or colleagues giving you your take. That would be the next principle. Then when that time goes by, in that time, if your ex calls back, it's a bonus. And you should be reflecting, did we really have a good relationship? And if we did, why did it go wrong? Those are things. I would say that in doing this work for a long time, if your focus out of a breakup is to get them back, that is almost a needy place. It's almost counterintuitive, because you're already uphill, because they're sitting at the top of the mountain going, work for me, be better for me. And unless you know what the problem is, and if you're willing to work on it, right, then they're not going to come back, and they're certainly not going to come back on your terms, right? That's a big one. Are you going to get them back on what terms? On what terms? The ideal thing is, a lot of coaches would recommend that you You get highly confident. You go into no contact. You move forward with your head high. Some people, that's why I say the honest self-assessment. Sometimes it's not that easy. It's not that easy to just to go, oh, I'm going to be confident in a day. There's certain things that add up to confidence. Being proud of yourself, what you do, how you act, good habits, et cetera, right? And so you have to really unpack that. Getting your ex back should be almost like a surprise bonus where you're like, okay, I have to make this decision now. But if getting your ex back is your sole goal, it can work. It can work. I've seen it work. It depends on the individual you're chasing. Some individuals have pity. I knew an individual before. They had been broken up for, I believe, 2 years. The girl had a new boyfriend. This guy sent her texts, once a month, once every 3 weeks. He'd touch base. While she was with her other boyfriend, saying how much he missed her and how much he loved her. And then as soon as her and the boyfriend that she was with broke up after 2 years, the girl called him up like a week or 2 weeks later. They had lunch. They ended up getting married a year later because she couldn't deal with the fact of being alone. So she settled back for him. Good for him. For 2 years, he hung around, right? He was a reserve on the bench. He was happy to do that. He was happy to check in. And someone might go, oh, that works. I guess it worked for him. It wouldn't have been my approach. Would you want to be for 2 years of your life while some other dude's sleeping with your ex-girlfriend, calling her up saying how much you miss her all the time? And then the other guy's with her at lunch going, God, he texted you again? So then when the other guy breaks up with her, she comes back to you 2 or 3 weeks later and you're like, okay, now's my chance. Okay. Guess you just put 2 years to the side and just stayed on deck for a while. Like I said, someone might go, oh, that works? That works if I just stay in contact with them then? Sure. In that case, it could have. This might be counterintuitive to everything that's going on in this particular podcast when it says principles to get an ex back. There are no principles to get an ex back. There are no principles to get one back, because that would imply that there's somehow a 2 + 2 = 4 remedy, and there's not. There's situations where you could do everything that the textbook requires in Corey Wayne's book. You could do everything that I recommend, and you could still not get your ex back. And then someone go, oh, this doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. The reality is the best place to be is on point for yourself. And if you can't get there, you need some time alone to get there. All right, folks, we're going to get into this a little deeper. I have some stories. I'll check in on the live stream here. Alice on the sidelines here just shaking his head yes, no, happy no.
Hi, everyone.
Yep. And Aleph, what's your take? Is there a principle to get your ex back? Is there some kind of guaranteed remedy out there you think you can get your ex back?
Well, yes, we could, and we can't too. It depends on I think it depends on how that relationship we end up like. If it's end in a good way and we both feel each other, we might can get back. But
might.
Yes.
So there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
So if you came to me and you're like, Mac, because you've had how many girlfriends? 3?
Yes.
3?
Yes.
Right. 23 years old, 3 girlfriends. That's a great body of work, Aleph. Good for you. And each one of those you broke up for different reasons, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did any of them you want them back?
No.
None of them you wanted back.
Yes. Because what I release, I don't repeat.
What I release, I don't repeat. Good for you at 23. So, but if there was a time when you got your heart broken, right, and you wanted one back, and you came to me and you said, Mac, I know you do this. Aleph's wincing right now. He's like, no, that wouldn't happen to me. I'm a heartbreaker, not a heartbroken. But what would you believe that there's some kind of remedy that just works?
Yes, I do.
What's the remedy?
As a friend story of mine, he broke up with his girlfriend about 6 months after they have a 2 years relationship, and then they get back together. During the 6 month, each of them doesn't have anyone, just talk for everyone that's coming for their life, but they don't feel that they could be. They don't have the feeling that could be just the fresh start. But when he have a chance to talk to her, just have some lunch about a month, hang out around about a month, then they just get back together.
6 months later.
Yes.
What was the main problem?
The main problem is like they have a majority things, just the emotional control.
Emotional control.
Yes.
Okay. So that could be worked on in 6 months. So the time apart actually worked for them. That doesn't mean that that's guaranteed that that individual woman or man wouldn't find someone else in 6 months that falls in their lap. All right, let's get into David Jeffers. How's it going rereading the book? I think that you said you already read that book 10 times. Any take, David, being a devout Corey Wayne follower, about Corey Wayne's 7 principles to get an X back? Oscar Dahmer says, how do you stop being jealous, though? This is interesting because jealousy is something you identify with sometimes. There's jealousy where you just have jealousy, and then there's people that are just jealous people as in nature. Does that make sense? So, like, if you consider yourself, well, I've had clients before, well, I'm just a jealous man. That's just how I am. And then I'd ask, well, how's that working for you? That's always going to be a problem for you because highly confident, good-looking women are not going to deal with jealous men. It actually breeds insecurity. There's always moments as a human being where you can be jealous of another human being. That's absolutely true. You have moments where you're like, oh, I wish I had that much money, or et cetera, et cetera. Some people say I consider myself not a jealous person. Do I have jealous moments? Yes. But with women, no. Never really have been. Have I had moments with girlfriends where I got jealous? Yes. But if you say, how do you stop being jealous, though? Then I would say, specifically, Oscar, what are you jealous about? You have to really narrow it down, right? Because things like jealousy are a blanket statement for many different things. Someone that gets jealous about someone's money might not be jealous about a woman, right? So there's a lot of times your jealousy is bred through insecurities of not being able to get that which you want, that which someone else has. Does that make sense, Oscar? So that would be something that I would have to get a little bit more details to unpack. Hello, Coach Mac. How are you? I'm excellent. Corey's book is good, but why the X move on? There's better out there. Exactly on what terms? You always got to think about on what terms. You know, some people are really willing to sell their soul just to get an X back. You have to let go, chase after your dream. If she comes back, that's a bonus. You know my story, Coach. I'm better today compared to a couple months back. I know you're better. And like Mr. Slamming, we've done live coaching together. This is a situation where you got a lot of ducks in a row. You got a good job. You're a good parent. You know, you got a lot of different things going on for you. And it's still hard to break up. That's the thing. It's like you can still have a lot of things going for you and still have trouble because you're entangled with another human being and feelings. And we all interact with other people differently. Some people are as cold as can be, and once I'm done, I'm done. That's a statement I've heard from people before. Like, once I'm done, I'm done. Those people tend to move on quicker, faster, and better. But I'll tell you what, everyone is susceptible to being hurt by another individual that they love or care about. Okay? And you have to deal with that. What's up, Rob? Gosh, he texted you again. Hi, Aleph, says Oscar. Need to brush up on my skills with the book, but I agree with a lot of its principles. I'm just not very territorial. Okay, so you said how to stop being jealous. Like you're not territorial. I'm just very territorial. Okay, meaning like that's my girl. How's it working out for you? Jealousy is mate guarding for men. It's paternity confirmation. What's up, Rob? What's up, Azam? I try to think of things that make me special. Good for you. Good for you, Catherine. Start with a good smile. All right, I do. She is your girl if you are exclusive. I just hate when she's friendly or flirty with other guys. I mean, everyone has their line, right? And so there are women that are like that from the get-go. that like that's their personality. They're outgoing, they're extroverts, they're flirtatious. It depends on their job. And that is a case of you accepting that in the beginning or not accepting it. You're not going to mold an individual into being submissive to the fact that you're jealous. So an example of this, I had a client, one of my first clients years back. He was in Dubai, I believe. Really good guy. He's actually stayed in contact over the years and told me he's doing really well. He met a woman on Instagram that was, he didn't use this word, but influencer type, lots of followers, some kind of fitness, like she'd post pictures of how good looking she is and in the gym, whatnot. It sounded like something like that. And this guy was into fitness too, so it wasn't just random. So anyways, when he found her on Instagram, he sent her like a message. She sent him a message back to his surprise. And they ended up starting a long distance relationship that basically, like he flew her out to Greece from America. He was in Dubai, met her there. They had a wonderful week of passion and intimacy, and then they hooked up again. And so they continued this relationship that was long distance. And also, like I said, she's quite active on Instagram, and by all means, she was still, showing sexy pictures of herself. In the same way she caught his attention, of course, she's going to catch the attention of a bunch of other guys on Instagram. So he said this was really difficult for him over time, and that he's a jealous man, and she should understand that, and she should stop being on Instagram. I said, well, just because you're a jealous guy and that's who you are and that's what you identify with and you feel like, doesn't mean she's going to change. So if you met her and she's, go check what that sound is. It sounds like a TV.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. If you met her and she was already posting pics on Instagram and that's how you guys bonded, it's probably not going to change. That's something you knew from the get-go. So the idea that you're just jealous and she should change, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. If you're a really jealous type and controlling type, and then you probably need to be with someone that, there are women that I've met before that actually like it. I know some people out there are going to cringe, or women go, no woman ever likes that. It makes them feel wanted, secure. I've heard him say before, I wish he'd get a little bit more jealous. That actually gets their juices flowing. So if you're going to settle for someone that you met on Instagram that has 10,000 followers, know what you're getting into. And he was reasonable about that when we talked. I mean, he was like, yeah. And I was like, was your father a jealous man? He goes, yeah. I go, well, how did that work for him? I mean, it's one of those things. I don't think you can force feed yourself to be non-jealous. You just have to address, am I being responsibly fair here in the reasons that I'm doing it? Because this individual was this person when I first met them. It's true. We get caught up in feelings and not wanting to lose. Posting pics of yourself while in a relationship is signaling for availability. His jealousy is correct. Either they are not exclusive, and she can do that, or if they are exclusive, she could stop that or walk away. You know what? I mean, jealousy can come from complaining, or it can come from direct demand. So there's controlling jealousy, and then there's just complaining jealousy. So that can be unpacked a few different ways. But if that's going to be the way your relationship works, then you probably should get a different type of person that's more receptive to the jealousy. I'm working on my jealousy issues, so I'm now I only date 5s and 6s to minimize my jealousy. Is that serious? Wow. So you're saying that you date less attractive women so you're not so jealous? I guess. I mean, that's a choice. That's a way to deal with it. I saw you have jealousy issues. You just don't want to share what's yours. I thought, is that what you're trying to say, Azam? I doubt you have jealousy issues. You just don't want to share what's yours. like I said, we all have them at different levels. I think it's human nature to be jealous. It's a different thing to be envious, but envy is very common too. It's how you deal with them. Just don't expect your partner to deal with it well. They deal with it within different ways, for sure. Some are very accepting of it, some aren't. Going below your standards, nah. You wrote nah. All right, let's take a look at the first story on deck. This was just sent in yesterday. This is what spurred me to talk about the Corey Wayne 7 principles. We got 10 on deck. Thanks for the likes, folks. Donations are welcome nowadays. Is there hope? It starts out with, hi, Mac. I'm a 38-year-old guy. Let me just check the timestamp on this. 30 minutes. So I'll let this individual know at 30 minutes. Hi, Mac. I'm a 38-year-old guy that has been separated from my ex-wife for 10 months. I'm completely over her emotionally. However, we're in a nasty legal battle over kids and assets. Well, that sounds like a divorce. At least one in the Western world. During the separation, I was talking to a woman I'd known as a acquaintance for about 3 years. What is that noise, Aleph?
The fruit truck sound.
The food truck?
Yeah, the fruit.
The fruit truck. Is he right out in front?
Yeah, he's around the village.
Is he driving?
In the goat farm next to your banana shop.
Wow, that's loud. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out what that is. Sometimes they sell fruit on trucks here and they have a loudspeaker. Sorry, let me start this over. Hi, Mac. I'm 38 years old. I've been separated from my ex-wife for 10 months. I'm completely over her emotionally. However, we're in a nasty legal battle over kids and assets. Wow. During the separation, I was talking to a woman I'd known as an acquaintance for about 3 years. She had been through a horrible divorce from her abusive husband 4 years previous and was giving me advice. Interesting. So just right off the bat, horrible divorce with her abusive husband of 4 years. That sounds dangerous to get involved in that one. At about the 5-month mark and a lot of effort on my part, my ex said there were no way any feelings were going to return and wanted a divorce. So the 5-month mark, I don't know how long you've been together, so that's a little puzzling. Long story short, okay, about a month later, I was at the other woman's house helping her build flat pack furniture. I wasn't looking for a relationship. Sure you weren't. But I was very lonely. She lived only a few minutes away. Plus, we could talk for hours and hours. Well, it sounds like you're probably consoling each other. And I don't have a problem with the fact that you're lonely and you're seeking out another female to hang out with. I wasn't looking for a relationship. You probably weren't looking for a relationship, but you might have been hoping for a little bit of intimacy. Maybe deep down. As I'm writing this, it's clear that I rebounded to her after dinner at her place. A week later, we kissed. From that moment on, it was hot. It was pretty textbook at the beginning. She did all the pursuing, and I simply replied enthusiastically to set fun dates. You do watch Corey Wayne. About 6 weeks, she said she loved me, and I said it back to her. Wow. Okay, so you went from not wanting to be in a serious relationship to saying I love you 6 weeks later. Okay. That's up to you. Everyone interprets the word love differently. Everyone, you can't love someone that... Sure you can. It's up to you, man. However you use that word for whatever feelings you use it for is up to you. I said back to her not long after that discussion started around moving in together in 6 months. Wow. Or so. And introducing our children. I already knew her 12-year-old daughter who likes me and even said to her mom she would make me her boyfriend. That's my phone. I already knew her 12-year-old daughter who likes me and even said her mom should make me her boyfriend. I don't know how long your marriage was. the idea that she was in an abusive relationship 4 years prior, this is probably something that you just kind of go, oh, that's a horrible thing. Sorry to hear that. And you probably talked about it. You probably had a really nice ear to it and whatnot. But that's going to be a tough relationship to get into with someone if you haven't navigated a relationship with an individual that's been in an abusive one before. There's going to be some pitfalls there. There's going to be some neediness. There's going to be some insecurities probably. And this being so quick after your marriage, it's going to be interesting how the story unfolds now. Sadly, things went south when my ex dropped a bomb on me and hired a solicitor, which is a lawyer. I never knew that solicitor was a lawyer until I met some friends from the UK that told me that, to go after me. I was really friendly to her and was hoping we could just sit down together and come to a fair arrangement. I just said earlier, fair doesn't apply to the world, unfortunately. Stupid me. Well, don't get too down on yourself. If you had good intentions, that's all we can do sometimes. This was the moment my girlfriend started pulling away from me, and I was shocked to hear her say she was confused about her feelings for me. Well, a lot of, if you were stressed out, you were emotional, you were down and out, this might not be an attractive time for you for her. That being said, the relationship was extremely shallow, and I don't mean shallow in the sense of, sometimes I use this word, it might be misunderstood. When I mean shallow, you just don't have a lot of history. And so you really don't know her that well yet. And when things move fast, they move hot and heavy, and they're ignited by intimacy, sometimes 3 months, 6 months later, don't be surprised if someone surprises you and you go, wow, I didn't know that about your character, because you really don't know them that well. We spoke for hours about it, and I opened her up with all open-ended questions and digging to get to the core of her feelings. She told me at that moment when the ex hit me with legal action, she saw uncertainty in me, and she started telling me how to handle the situation. I think our masculine-feminine polarity was out of whack. She even said she felt energy was unbalanced and she couldn't put her finger on why, but she didn't feel in love with me like she did. Wow, that's really early for that. That's a deep conversation to have. I guess you guys are very in tune with the masculine, feminine. Identifying it during an argument's interesting, or a sit-down talk. I'm sorry. That's deep. The one thing I would say about that, if you're gonna go down the road and you're gonna have these talks, this is basically a playbook that's gonna run in the future. So if you have a similar situation, or your polarity's out of whack, or you guys are unbalanced, and let me ask, is it possible in a monogamous, maybe 2-year, 3-year, 4-year relationship that you're gonna have moments of unbalanced communication? I don't know if that's grounds to just break up, but this is good for you to know upfront and early. So this is actually a good thing, because you don't want to get any further with an individual like this that's this quick to bail on you. We both tried to make things work for a few weeks. Good when we were together, but distance kept growing in between times. I admit I over-pursued out of fear. Hindsight 2020. I bought and picked numerous bunches of flowers and became the one to contact through text and calls, not blowing up her phone, but the roles of the pursuit did flip. Hindsight 2020, like I said. So this is a situation that would really hurt the attraction, and this really proves to you that you were really trying to fill a void. And I would add that there is some value in going through a breakup and having some time alone and getting in touch with what you want, what your feelings are, not settling for an individual that isn't sure about you and maybe just had hot intimacy together and now is wishy-washy with you. In the end, I got very long texts saying that the energy between us was so bad that she felt physically ill and she was sorry she was hurting me, but didn't want me to contact her for a month. So she's giving you the rules and regulations right there. That sounds very controlling. She said, I am a beautiful man, but she wanted to be single and alone with her feelings so she can gain clarity on how we can move forward as either friends or more than that. Again, this is all in her favor. This is all her goals and wishes. You can abide by it or not abide by it. But what I would say is, why not accept what she said and you move forward and you decide if you want to be friends with her, or you decide if you want more than that. Not necessarily this situation where you're waiting to see what she decides. And I liked how she gave you a timestamp. Let's give it a month and then I'll get back to you. That's really kind of her. Sounds almost like a job. You know what? We can't use you here at the grocery mart anymore, but we'll think about it in a month if we change our mind. I respect your wishes and simply respond, I'm sorry you feel that way. You didn't have to say sorry for anything, dude. However, that's okay. I'll let you contact me when you're ready. I'll let you contact me when you're ready. Okay. I'm a week into no contact, making good progress with seeing my kids, sold the family home, renovating a new place I'm in. Good for you. Hope you moved somewhere exciting and fresh. The ex and I are headed for court, but I'm at peace with whatever the judge decides. Good. This is progress beyond this woman. Because this woman that you were seeing, I don't see it being long-term. I know you don't see it being long-term. And so you better off just starting off fresh, not getting entangled with an individual that's controlling the situation, that your energy's not correct when you feel like your energy's just fine, and you're being baited by good intimacy. Maybe you just need some time away. I really do want to make it work with my girlfriend. I'm going to implement Corey Wayne's 7 principles to get my ex back. Please let me know how that works for you. That's not sarcastic. That's just honest. I'd love your objective opinion on my situation. I feel like this could be saved, but I am an optimist. Maybe I'm missing a big hint. The idea that it can be saved is counterintuitive. This woman is saying that the energy's off. She's saying this. She's saying that. She's saying she's not interested at this point. And if she changes her mind, she'll let you know. So if you doing anything that could save it, such as writing a letter, such as calling her up, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I think the best thing you can do is move forward, move on, accept what she said, and the fact that you guys had pretty good intimacy and a pretty good time together, that should hold enough weight for her to consider calling you back if she does miss you and want you back. The reality is, in the meantime, keep dating. Seems like you're at peace with your marriage, which was an issue that maybe sparked some of your insecurity in the past. And then down the road from this, maybe in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, if you weren't to hear from her, you can go out. And let me add, you're not going to save her as your girlfriend. Just back up on that. And if she contacts you in the future, just go out, have a good time, as Corey Wayne says, get a bottle of wine, be James Bond, whatever you want to do with Corey's advice, but very similar to mine. Be in the moment, though. Stop trying to make her your girlfriend or get her back. Live your life on. Do your house. You said you're gonna renovate a new place. You got some goals going. You're back onto your kids, and so go on some other dates with some other women. Obviously, you were able to pivot out of this relationship quite quick into something new, so you must be decent with women. So put your skills towards someone else, because you've been doing a lot of research, right? If you've been watching a lot of Corey Wayne's videos, you need to put that to practice with more women. I would recommend you read the book The Rational Male, No More Mr. Nice Guy and Models, which I recommend to a lot of people. Those are great books if you're single again. Thank you very much for your work. I hope you can answer this in a video. Just did. So I hope that helps you. Let's get back to the live stream here. We got 9 on deck, 4 likes. So hang out, have fun, and hook up. That's Corey. Click the money logo right on the chat. Okay. Going below your standards. No, I still don't see how to donate. It's the money. It's the money symbol on the bottom of the chat. Keep pushing forward. I'd worry about the word abusive. I mean, it's one of those things. What's really interesting when people get in new relationships, and I see this a lot. Someone will be out of a relationship of 5, 8, 9, 10 years. So they somehow believe everything that was in that relationship applies to the next relationship, and it doesn't. And then they end up in a relationship with an addict. A narcissist is a big one. A bipolar person, a depressive person, alcoholic. The list goes on, and they're just completely puzzled. You know why? Because they never had one in their life before. And so, like I said, him being in a relationship with someone that's been abused in the past, that would probably be extremely shy and maybe very sensitive towards certain triggers and behaviors. This is something he hasn't dealt with before, and so it's going to be foreign to him. And I'd add, if someone's dictating the terms of the breakup, that our energy's just off and we're just not right, she's basically saying we don't have a good connection. Basically, the intimacy and attraction was good. The connection and the chemistry, which should be really good in the beginning if it's going to go anywhere, isn't there. Trust is built over time. Click the money logo to the right on the chat. Thank you. Of course, 6 weeks. Hang out, have fun, hook up. Didn't end up after another 6 weeks. A bit rushed. 1 year for me, 6 months for me is just a tad quick. Also, I'd question her being in an abusive relationship. Oh my God, Dodgers win World Series. Congratulations, Oscar Dahmer. It's been a long time coming. I didn't know the Dodgers won. I haven't been paying attention to baseball this year. It's good for you, man. That's a big deal. They haven't won in a long time. I actually remember the '88 Kirk Gibson home run. I saw that live. I'm a huge Giants fan, by the way. Need to break down what she means by abusive. When she pulls away, push her further. Nice. Oh yeah, many proactive. That girl is very bossy. Move that on. Keep your resume on file 90 days. Keep your resume on file. I'd say focus on yourself and have fun. I'd say the female would give it another round with the abusive guy. Who knows? That's one of those things. You know what? Too bad we can't talk with you rather than just type. That would be cool. Catherine, I am taking calls as long as it's about a story. You can book a session with the coach, yeah. Yeah, you can book a session. Me and Zam have talked before. It's very, very good. All right. I do have some other stories. I'm going to pull them up right now. Did you have your coffee yet today, Aleph?
Yes.
You feel okay?
Well, lately I feel like I need more coffee. So
You feel tired?
no, it just like I usually have three teaspoon of coffee, but now it seems like it's not enough now. It's like I need more.
You feel tired?
Not tired, just need more coffee. Because I have 3 spoons of coffee tea.
3 spoons? What do you mean by spoons?
I mean a spoon tea by the coffee that I mix
Oh,
with
like the
coffee.
powder?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe the coffee's not strong enough, huh?
Yeah.
Could be.
Yes.
Fatigue. Fatigue. You know fatigue?
No.
Fatigue's like tired, but like body tired?
Not like body tired, but it's just like I need more. That this is how the effect of a problem that you addict a coffee.
Okay. All right, here's some stories I got on deck also that have come in. Hello, Coach. Here's my story. Make of it what you will. Your opinion counts here. I lost my girlfriend or broke up with her about 2 months ago. So there's 2 different things there. Right off the bat, I lost my girlfriend or broke up with her. Pick one because it counts on how you look at it. Losing someone is usually when someone's gone forever, and that's highly dramatic. Breaking up can be something different than losing someone, and it'll play mind tricks on you. It's been more than painful. It's been more than rough. It's excruciating to not contact her and hold her at night. It's tough to break up with anyone. Using those words are only going to make it worse. Telling yourself you're going to get through this, it's going to take day by day, and you're going to be okay are much more better ways to handle this. I still have been trouble getting my dinner down. She broke up with me basically because I couldn't have kids, and she wants kids. We are both in our early 30s, and she doesn't feel like she's got much time. I told her we could adopt maybe, but it wasn't satisfying to her at all. I don't think there's anything I could do to change this, and it just hurts because it's my fault, but also out of my control completely, as I just can't have babies. So the good news is, it's very clear what the problem is. It's very clear why she broke up with you, and it's not you character-wise. It's not who you are as a person. It's not who you are as a lover. It's not your attraction. It's a situation where that's not going to change, and she's being honest with you. It's not fair. It's not nice. I'm sure she's hurting too, but this is a nature decision. But I would add, there's plenty of women out there that would say, I don't want to have a baby also. So at some point, if you're really going through it, you might want to do a live coaching call with myself or someone else out there and really get all your feelings out. She said she'd like to stay in contact, but she can no longer waste time on not being a mother. I wouldn't advise you to contact each other at this point. The only way you're going to heal from this is by staying in no contact. She comes from a big family. There's a lot of pressure for her to have kids. Don't blame it on the family. She's a woman. She's in her 30s. Plenty of women in their 30s want to have kids. Her mother is always asking, and she's never told them that I can't provide. So that pressure just mounts and mounts. I don't blame her. I just want to get through this. Any suggestions on me feeling better and letting go? Take it day by day. Keep showing up for other parts of your life. I could suggest doing a live coaching session and just talking about it. This isn't going to be any remedy or secret sauce that's going to get you through this. It's going to be time. It's going to be self-talk. And I would recommend maybe hypnotherapy as an alternative thing and letting go. But you are capable of moving on, moving forward, and meeting someone of equal or higher value that would accept the fact that you can't have kids. But right now, this is a tough one. It is a tough one. But that being said, you can get through it. You can get through it. You will get through it. Using language like I lost her, it's excruciating. You got to channel those words into, I'm going to get through this. I'm a strong, confident individual. I'm going to get through this. Self-talk counts a lot. It's underrated. All right, next story. Hey, Mac, thanks for your time. Love the live stream, even though I'm never able to watch them live. I've got a story about my breakup. We are both in our early 40s, and I've been seeing each other for 6 months. And recently he told me that he didn't think I could provide what he was looking for. I'm puzzled because in the month I let him know I was looking for a long-term life partner that was willing to take care of me financially. I don't have much at this point in my life. He said that wasn't a problem as long as I had a job, which I do. And I also love to take care of my men with the household chores. So he said that was great. We continued to date and see each other. Okay, so I don't know if this is a breakup if you're seeing each other for 6 months. Sometimes, like, seeing each other and being together are two different things. Would you agree, Aleph?
Yep.
Yep. That was quick. It's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, officially introducing someone as your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your husband or your wife or your partner in some cases is totally different than I'm seeing someone. I mean, when someone says, I'm seeing someone, I look at that as like, you guys aren't serious yet. You have interest, but neither one's ready to commit, or one of them's not ready to commit. And so the idea that you broke up when you stopped seeing each other, no one committed here if you were dating. Dating is different than being, I would never refer to someone as, oh, I've been dating this individual. It's different than saying, that's my girlfriend. I thought things went particularly well in the bedroom. We even took a weekend trip, which went well, but I did notice he never checked his phone in front of me, even when it went off buzzing. Okay, that could be something. He said he likes to give someone his full attention when talking, and I agreed. I do the same, but he can check his phone to see who it is. This wasn't an issue till he actually left his phone out one day, and a text came in from a woman who sent some heart emojis and kisses. Ooh. Aleph, can a friend send heart emojis and kisses?
Yo, if you are really friend, yes, you can.
Not a guy, but a girl.
Yeah, I did that with my friend too.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
we did not like that. We just like, okay, hi, babe. But it's just a friend. We did not flirting for that serious. We just like.
I think that there are some women out there, and I'm not at the I mean, I text and I've gotten emojis. I'm not a big emoji person. Some people are. They can be taken out of context. I don't know what the kisses look like because there's different emojis for kisses. I asked him about it. He became defensive and said never check his phone and that it was his cousin. So is it possible that your cousin could send a heart emoji or kisses?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Of course.
would my cousins do it from the, being a McCarthy and whatnot? No, probably not, because we're just not that, I guess, affectionate or whatnot. But is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. I don't know what the emojis look like. I instantly didn't believe him, so that's an issue. If you don't believe him, then you don't have trust, and thought it was strange for a cousin to send this. Yeah, it would be a bit strange for a cousin to send that, but is it possible? Yes. I don't know the age of the cousin. I don't know their relationship. We went on about it for a bit. Nothing too tense, but it was an argument of sorts. That's for sure. We continued on our day, but he went home early that night, which was unlike him. Well, he's upset with you. The next day, which was about a week ago, he said he couldn't be who I wanted, that I was looking for too much too soon. That seems very clear. He was happy to see each other in the future, but he's not looking for marriage. Okay, so he's saying we can hook up, but I don't want to marry you, and you want to get married, and you want to call me out on phone stuff, and this was an instant red flag, and he's saying it. I was upset and just clicked on him. I haven't spoken to him in a week. I don't know if he's just a narcissistic liar. That's a big statement to say because someone doesn't want to defend emojis on their phone. And now he's just scared to commit. This happens a lot. So she said that she was in her 40s. This happens a lot, I noticed, with women in their 40s, that they really want to nail a guy down to commitment when they first start dating. They really want to make sure that he's serious. And I understand where they're coming from. They don't want to play games. They know what they want. There are some men out there that want the same thing. That being said, it does scare some men away because a lot of these men that are in their 40s that are dating, that are single, have been divorced, have had a bad relationship, and they're not interested in getting remarried. And so women will date him for 4 or 5, 6, 7 months, and then when they break up, they'll go, oh, he lied. He never wanted to commit. No, he was considering committing, but he never committed. And then you accuse him of being a liar. The idea that he was going to make that decision when you were dating for a month or 2 months, some people don't. If you were dating for 6 months, that was probably a sign that he wasn't willing to. And I would ask you, at what point did you ask him, hey, do you look at me as a girlfriend at 5 months or 4 months? The fact that this happened after I checked his phone, was this his way out? It might not have been his way out. It might have been a red flag for him, saying like, wow, you're going to check my phone and we're just dating for 6 months. It sounds like you were much more serious about things. And he looked at, this might have triggered something that happened in his past where someone checked his phone and made a big deal out of things. And so he thought, wait a minute, I'm not even going to deal with this long term. I don't understand where we went wrong. What's your take? I don't know if you went wrong anywhere. Your dating just sizzled out in the sense that he had something happen that made him realize that you maybe were looking at the relationship a different way and cared about it in a different way. And he didn't want to be called out on checking his phone. He very well could have been talking to his cousin. And if you don't trust him or believe him, this would have gone on and on and on for a long time, and he probably didn't want to deal with it. The reality is you'll never know the exact truth, but it's only a 6-month thing, so you should be able to get through this. The biggest problem I see over is frame control. Yep. Okay, everyone, later, early morning tomorrow. When is your birthday, Mac? Elena P. February 1st. Born in 1981. I'm actually the year of the monkey. Thought it was the rooster for a long time, but was corrected. Be back on next live. About to hit the streets. Dodgers won. Congratulations. That's a big deal. Go for you. I got one more story here. Hello, Coach Mac McCarthy. I'm here to tell you my story. Please give your honest take. I always do. I've been hurt by lies enough in my life. Okay. Great dramatic start. My ex of 1 year ago has recently called me and wants to get lunch. He broke my heart a little over a year ago. He was basically caught cheating with a girl from his work. The girl told me I was crushed. Okay, he admitted it and even told me many times he was sorry. If I could do it over, he wouldn't have done it. I'm 25 right now and really feel good about where I'm at in life, and I'm not sure I want to revisit this. But I do miss him. Haven't been with anyone romantically since him, so I would kind of like that to happen, but I'm scared. Well, there's always uncertainty. There's always something to be scared of when you're revisiting an old flame, someone that hurt you. This is a decision and a choice you got to make as an individual. If you have very big boundaries on the fact that, cheaters are always going to cheat, which is a theme some people follow, or you think he made a mistake that he's willing to fix, those are two different viewpoints that can both be true. Someone's arguing with me on the live stream before, well, someone doesn't make a mistake when they cheat. They're just a cheater. They're a liar. Well, I think that people that cheat could consider it a mistake if it's out of character and something that they don't want to continue to do and they're extremely sorry for. That being said, it's your responsibility in the relationship to decide what you want to put up with and what you don't want to put up with. If you want to get lunch with him and see where things stand, I don't have a problem with it. It's been 1 year. He's not a bad guy and told the truth. Okay, so you're already validating maybe seeing him. He said the past is past. He just wants to get lunch. I think it's okay. If you think it's okay, why not? But I'm not sure I can trust him. Well, you're not going to go have lunch with him to figure out if you trust him. You're going to go have lunch with him to just see how you feel about things and see if you want to have lunch with him one more time. So don't get ahead of yourself like you're going to get back together. But it sounds like you're leaning towards meeting, or you won't even send what you just sent. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, I'm an Aquarius, Elena. What about you? All right, folks, we got 9 on deck, 5 likes. Anyone else want to throw their hat out there? Elena, do you have a breakup story you want to share, or did you come on to read my chart, which I have had someone do recently? Let's see here. We're an hour right now. We'll get the stories going. Never-ending stories of breakups, Aleph. Can you believe it?
I could.
It's never ending.
Well, population in this world is about 70 million. So
70 million? That's not true. There's 7 billion people in the world, isn't it?
yeah, 7 billion. Sorry.
7 billion people. Wow, you really do need some coffee. 7 billion people in the world. Yeah,
Yes.
the idea that, and everyone breaks up, you think?
Not everyone, but everyone have their own. The heart broke in each different situation.
What, I mean, I bet, what is the percentage of people in the world that's only been with one person?
Well, I think it's for
1%?
no, not 1%. I don't think 1% is true, because
More than that?
more than that, I think.
That have only been with one person in their life.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like we just had on, and you just cut it from the live stream a few days ago. There's an Indian man that called in that wanted to talk about his breakup story.
Yes.
And it wasn't really a breakup story. It was more advice on a situation. He was explaining how they have dating sites that are actually marriage sites in India.
That is
so you're,
for marriage, right?
yeah, you re-listened to the thing, right?
Yeah. I'm your editor. What do you think?
Yeah, so it's just an amazing thing that when he was 38, that you are looking to marry someone through a website and you have a short period of time to meet them, and you don't even get to get intimate till that marriage, from what I understand, by the rules of it. That sounds like, talk about uncertainty. I mean, that's the thing about marriage, though. You're never certain.
Nothing lasts forever?
I mean, you're gonna pass away at some point, and someone else is gonna pass away. So that's the long of it. But the idea that people aren't gonna change their mind or something's not gonna come up where you think about not sticking together, and that's what marriage is supposed to do. Like, we stick together no matter what, but then people always have a thing like, yeah, but not that.
Yeah, that's true of that.
Right? Like you go, not that.
Mm-hmm. The fact is, in Thai we have the slang, the hyperbole phoneme of that. The phrase is like tongue and teeth. By the way, it's really close in the mouth, right?
Tongue and teeth?
Yeah, but one day we gonna hit our teeth, no matter how, like when we talk or when we eat.
I don't get it.
So it's like when you stick together, of course you will get fight, and it's will be really bad or hurt. But if you can be together, it's really good. But if you can't work it, you have to accept that.
What's the tongue and teeth?
Tongue and teeth is like the slang of it. Couples that we marry together, so we really close like tongue and teeth.
And so the teeth is when things go bad.
Yeah, teeth is really one they're gonna hurt a tongue. When sometimes tongue is coming to the wrong step.
Okay. I just said February 1st. So my ex is coming back and forth with me. Is he serious or just want to play around? I would need to know your situation. Elena, you want to call in on Skype? I'll take your call right now. We'll keep this thing going. We'll go live. Are you willing to take that step now that I've told you I'm an Aquarius? You'd have to tell me what happened in your breakup. Everyone's waiting. What do you think, Elena? Do you want to go public with this? It's a big step. Dun, 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 dun. I have the time right now. I have about 30 minutes I could help you unpack this. But I would say this. Who knows if he's serious? The question is, or just want to play around. My exes come back and forth with me. You know your ex better than I do. Are they the type that wants to just play around? Have they just played around with you before? What's their playbook in the past? History will most likely repeat itself. So if they constantly want to play around and not commit, then that's probably what they'll do again and again and again. The idea that you have to question, is he serious? Does that mean that if he's going to come back around that you want to be officially together? Well, then what didn't work in the past? Why did you break up in the past? What's changed since that would make it different now? That's the question you got to ask yourself. And a lot of times people overlook that just to fill the void of loneliness, because you don't want to live lonely. I think he wants revenge. Oh, because you broke up with him? Okay. That's, some guys do tell me that. Some women tell me that. I just want them to come back so I can break up with them. Especially younger people in their 20s. There was a guy there was a guy that I was working with, right? And I've done multiple live coachings with him. And it was a tough situation for him because he's like, yeah, man, I've gained a lot of weight. I have a drinking problem. He had just finished college like a year later. He was really self-deprecating on a lot of things. And he was like, basically he was saying, 4 years ago when she first met me, the one thing he did is he got really good grades in school. I think he had a really high GPA and out of college. And he had these plans of maybe going to law school. And but the situation was his girlfriend and him broke up, but I felt like he had really slid, and he was admitting to it. Like he said, I drink every day, I eat fast food. He got really fat. He was kind of self-deprecating on the way he looked, which is something that you could change. But over time, when we did a lot more coaching, he didn't seem like he really, it's like, oh, I can't help but stop at a fast food place on the way home. I can't. It's like, okay. I mean, I'm not a diet coach, so I'm not, you know what I mean? Like there's plenty of other people that do that. but it is a choice, right? And so that was one of his issues, but he was under the impression like if she did come back, he just wanted to get revenge to hurt her because he was bitter at her. And I was kind of like, she had a new boyfriend. I didn't think she was going to come back. So like some of the ideas that he had, first of all, someone's not going to come back when you slid a lot. So like if you start seeing someone and you're in a really good place in your life, you're in really good condition, you look really good, and then they broke up with you, they're not going to go back to you in a condition where you weren't at your best. This idea that he was thinking of revenge. I said it's not going to work that way. The focus should be on getting yourself back on deck. Yeah, he wants revenge, and he's persistent in trying to break the law. To break the law, he's a psycho. Okay, Elena, why are you even entertaining the idea then? You had me at psycho. I don't think I've ever dated someone where I was like, I was with someone. I've dated someone that's not psycho, but I was like, whoa. I remember it was the one case where I was like, wow, this is like Fatal Attraction type stuff. I wasn't scared of her, but I was like, yeah, no, she was beautiful. She was actually a nurse. She was sweet. She was kind, and there were some issues. Like right when we were dating, she's like, oh, like she didn't want to kiss or hook up because she's like, I'll love you then. I was like, wow, this seems exaggerated or whatever. And then I realized soon after we did hook up that she was telling the truth because she literally would call your phone off the hook, want to meet up, ask me, like it went 0 to 100, and I was like, whoa. And then one time, I think she was like, oh, did you want to meet? I'm like, no, I'm not going to meet up. I have to do something else. And she caught me at a restaurant with my friends, guy friends, and like came over and was like, oh, you lied to me. I was just like, what the hell? Like we've just been seeing each other for off and on for like a couple of weeks or something like that, and went off. And I was like, wow, never talk to her again. Just psycho. No, he has an attitude problem. He is in different culture. Well, different cultures can work and they cannot work, but they're probably not going to change. Like people can't change their culture unless they move away from their families or they move out of the area of their culture. And so that if you want to hold that against someone, it's not gonna really change anything. Elena P. What's the cultural difference, if you will? What Elena is saying is he's hot. Is that true, Elena? On a scale of 1 to 10, Elena, this is a really good question. This psycho, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give him on attraction? On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give him on connection and chemistry? On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give him on trust? And let's see if Azam is correct. Oh, that's true, Azam. Little Nostradamus. So a lot of times people will sacrifice a lot in the name of, okay, Pakistani? Is that the way you'd say Pakistani? A Pakistanian?
What?
Someone from Pakistan. Would you call it like Thai people? You call them Thai.
Pakistan.
Pakistan's a country.
Yeah.
Would you call him Pakistani?
We just call him like a Paki guys like.
Oh, Paki.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my grandfather he is Turkish. Sorry.
Turkish is not the same as Pakistan. No, I would say those are different countries. He is a 7 on attraction. Okay. And what's your 1 to 10 on trust? Because that is a different thing. Pakistani is what we call them. Okay. Tough people. He says tough people. Yes. He's short though.
What do you mean by that? Short? Could you give us a more specific?
He's short. She just means he's short, Aleph.
But what Rob said.
There's 5'8's not too short. I mean, you know what? It's so funny because height's a big issue for women.
Yeah.
Height's a big issue for women. And the amount I've told people before, I used to sell women's shoes when I was in college. A lot of high heels. And women would go, "Oh, I like those shoes, but I cannot wear them because my husband's not tall enough." I was like, really? They would always not want to appear taller. I find that I just was like, what? They would literally tell me like, "Oh, I like those shoes a lot, but I can't wear them. My husband's a little bit short, or my boyfriend's short. I can't be taller than him." Kind of one of those. He's the shortest guy I dated. It was a first for everything. Do you think that men do that?
Well,
I guess men are attracted to height sometimes. I just don't hear it very often.
just some men, cause when I'm with my friend that taller than me as a girl, I feel like damn.
You mean a woman?
Yeah, a woman.
You're less attracted to her if she's taller than you?
Yeah.
Saying that, I'm 6 feet,
Mhm.
and I don't think I've ever dated a woman that's taller than me. No,
Yeah.
no.
We feel that way, Mac. It's like
Men are attracted to women who are shorter than them. I would say that's true for me, and a lot of my girlfriends are much shorter actually. We value height. I've heard that repeatedly. That's funny because they say in the business world, men that are taller, like 6'2", 6'3", usually command more attention. Although I think most will not be too down with someone 4'11" or shorter. We see that as strong and can protect us. I guess so.
yeah.
I remember when I was out of one of my bad breakup, and I was going out in San Francisco to a cool bar lounge thing with some friends, and there was a girl I met there. We were flirting and whatnot, and she was cute. She was short, but she wasn't like really short. So I thought, and we had hooked up. We hung out that night, and I met her again, like on a quote unquote date, I suppose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess when I was a little bit more sober and there wasn't this dark lighting, I was like, wow, Rob, she was probably shorter than 4'11". She might have been like 4'10". And it is different, like 4'10" or 4. I was like, whoa. And she must have been wearing some really high, because she had boots on the time I met her, some really high heels. I remember thinking like, wow, I don't know if it was a game changer completely, but it threw me off. We see that as strong can be protected. It's one of those elements, subconscious attraction, sure. That's a deal breaker for most guys, 4'10". It's pretty short, right? I mean, it is. I'm 5'6", so I need a guy taller. Basically demonstrates the offspring will have subpar genes, perhaps. Something to that effect, probably. I have definitely seen, though, guys that are shorter. It's just not that common.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's funny about that? Now that I'm thinking about it, there's a couple couples that I've seen that live where I live, and the woman was not just taller, but broader shoulders, like bigger.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, wow, that's an odd couple. And it has nothing to do with their chemistry or their connection. It's just the fact that their height is so off. And so thinking about it subconsciously, that must be a thing, actually. Height is important because they probably can kill most guys who are shorter.
That's true.
That's true as short and badass will get laid. Okay. Could be. I mean, it's not by accident that there's a lot of leaders out there that are quite short, right?
Yeah. Actually, I wrote some research that talk about height, why women.
Really? You read some research on this?
Yeah, why women attract on a man who taller than her. It's because, like Elena said, she can feel that taller man could be protect her, and the fact of that a taller guy is really tough guy, as I see. like at the bar like that.
Yeah, gentle giant, I suppose, in some cases if they're not a bad. Yeah. I guess it's always an uphill battle if you're not quite as tall. I guess it is, or you just need to live in a community where there's shorter women. So what's your typical type, Mac? That's a good question. 6'3", I think I've read before and study, is a height that covers all bases of height attraction. 6'3", I think I've read before in the study, is a height that covers all bases of height attraction. Not a lot of people are 6'3", right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your typical type, Mac? I don't know if I want to get into that right now. That might be too much information. But you know what's interesting about that is we do all have a type.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think.
It's what's really interesting about that. We do all have a type, and I think that a lot of that has to do with our first experiences.
Yeah,
you know, like where do you think your type comes from? It's like who are you first attracted to?
Yeah, it's based on that.
You think so?
Yes.
It's not necessarily that you were like the height thing, right? And there's certain characteristics that some men will be like, oh, I don't care about boobs. I don't care about that. Like most do. Most would prefer sizable breasts, right?
Well,
most would.
yeah.
Not all, but
not
there's
all.
a lot of guys that'll be like, I don't even care,
Yeah.
right? A lot of that has to do with, like I said, I believe part of it is who you were first attracted to in your first experience. There's a lot of times, like there's people out there that only date one culture. Like Aleph, because you live in Thailand, there's not as big as a mix, but where I grew up in the Bay Area, it's just where you living? You live in Toronto, Rob? So like this multicultural city. I mean, I knew women that would only date this race, or guys that would only date this race, which would be a different culture. A lot of times, it was what their first boyfriend or girlfriend was. It's not necessarily like, oh, they just like this person. It's like they believe they like those kind of people because they had one before. It's kind of like food. If I grew up eating apple pie, my mom made apple pie all the time, and I'm like, oh, I love apple pie. And then you come to me and you go, Mac, we got mango sticky rice. Do you want to try this? Now, mango sticky rice is a great dessert. It's like very popular in Thailand. It's delicious. I'm not even gonna know if that's good or not until I try it. So a lot of people would rather just stick with apple pie if they had a choice because they like certainty.
It's what the normal that they deal with it first, right?
Yeah. That's Elena. Where are you at in the world? Just curiosity. She says, I used to date white men. Now, since I date Middle Eastern guys, I'm more into them, but our culture differences clash. I mean, that who you're attracted to, you can have cultural differences. But I really do believe that if you had a successful, good, attractive relationship with one type, or you were exposed to one type, you're more apt to be attracted to those women again, or men, or vice versa. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So back to what you said, like it's standard with our experiment, how our type could be. I think of myself, why the reason why I like the girl smile is because when I was a kid, I saw on MTV about the rock star. On that time, I met Avril Lavigne, which is one of my inspiration to learn English.
Avril Lavigne.
Yes, and I like her smile too. That's why I feel like, damn, if I could have some girl that have like her smile or best smile like that, I could fall for that girl.
Okay.
So in my lifetime, just only 3 girls that could get my attention like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Elena says, I'm Brazilian. Okay. Do you live in Brazil? I'm just curious. I'd love to go to Brazil. It's kind of funny because those are the type of women that I do like. When you were saying, what's your type? I think Brazilian women, body wise, would definitely line up with what I like. It's interesting because people will surprise you with what they like, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I've had Azam, I think my ex is gay. He usually clean cut. He doesn't like the beards. So the fact that he's clean cut makes him gay.
Too
There everybody
clean?
is on this exact time. No, I'm in Miami. Oh, Miami. Wow, there's a lot going on there. Someone was just telling me a story how Miami is flooding. It's kind of random. They were going on and on about it. And I was like, what do you mean? I think it also has a lot to do with, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Middle Eastern men act more like men, the most North American type of men who have become weaker. Sure. I mean, I don't have experience dating them. He is soft Pakistani. He is a soft Pakistani clear, hybrid or raised there. Okay. Metrosexual. Yeah, no, the variance in what people are attracted is shocking sometimes. It's really surprising. But then there's people that you go like, oh yeah, that's what you like, that's what I like, so it's better that we hang out then probably. He's kind of feminine and his hand is so soft. But he was your ex, right? You still must have liked him in some way. You must have still liked him in some way, right? Well, whenever you're with, Elena, how old are you and how many people have you been with? It was so soft to turn off. Soft but strong.
Well.
Well's right, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Is it true, since you're Brazilian, if this is true, I've had women discount this before, that Brazilian women are aggressive? They're supposed to be more aggressive with men, more willing to make the first move. And I read this years back in Maxim magazine, that they were the most aggressive women in the world, and that, wow, that's young. I'm 22. They were the most aggressive women in the world, and that the majority of Brazil is like 60+% women. Is there any truth to that? 22, that's your age, Aleph.
Elena?
Yeah, Elena's 22. Brazilian, lives in Miami. What a good place to live, though, huh? I've always heard good things about Miami. I've actually had numerous people that I've worked with that are from there. I haven't had someone that lives in Brazil as a live coaching client, but I have had multiple people from Argentina, actually, which I've heard is a beautiful country. Really good things about Argentina from world travelers. More of our culture, Spanish women stereotype, but not a lot of us. Okay.
It's still in my head about how our type could be growth. Like I attract with a girl's mind, but back to the first of my ex, which is the best one of my ex. She look like Chinese, but she have some look like Japanese, and she have a nice smile, a cute smile too.
Yeah, you like the smile, huh?
Yes. I actually for girl smile, and after that for my crush, like the third one of my ex, yeah, she also have a nice smile, and my crush too, that she live in Indonesia.
Okay, you're an international man. Look at you. It's like you go to the Olympics to find your women. Jeez.
Maybe that's why I would like to travel around the world.
Derek, you like thick Asian women? Is that what you're saying? I like thicker women myself. I grew up in Spain. I don't know if that means exotic. I grew up in Spain. Actually, my mom's half Spanish. My grandma was from Spain. Robles is the name. I don't know if that means exotic, to like a thick woman. I don't know. But I live in Asia, so I must like Asian women, right?
Well, yeah.
But you know what? I would say that open to everything. Good morning. I like them slim from the gym, says Good Dark Knight. All right, we're not gonna fight over anything then. I love petite women. See, everyone's saying that. I like petite. I like petite women too. I don't think I have like a. I don't think that I'm gonna discriminate or have a rule against any group. I would say that. I know what I like when I see it, though. Mm-hmm. Do you ever notice that, though, too? Like, at a certain level, you're like, ooh, and you double take. Now, it's funny. I have a few friends that I feel like they don't even have a type. It's just anything with, like, a fucking pulse. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're like, ooh, did you see that? And I'm like, what? Really? Like, what do you, like, that? You know, it's like, oh, she was checking you out. It's like, what? Who? People just vary, like their levels. Azam says Latina, Middle Eastern, white, black in my order of conduct. And then some guys I've talked to are like, I would never date this race, or I would never. You know what I mean? I've never had that as a rule. Do you guys prefer long hair or short hair? Long hair for sure.
For me, short hair.
Oh, really?
I like to see a good neck. Sorry to say that.
Neck.
Yeah,
Okay.
Neck. Yeah, neck.
I mean, and everyone's different with that. Yeah, sure. But I wouldn't say that if someone has short hair, I'm not going to be like, oh, no, you have short hair, right?
But actually, long hair or short hair doesn't matter.
As long as smile.
Yeah, that's my.
I got you. I like him slim and from the gym, says Dark Knight. Go for you. Man, it does vary so much, though. So when someone as long as it suits her, any hairstyle is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, dang. The collarbone for you. Dang, that's it. The collarbone for you, she says. I don't think it's the collarbone. Ugh. That sounds weird. Like, oh, she has a nice collarbone.
Collarbone?
Collarbone's here.
Ah.
That's not something I check out, no. Thicker than a Snicker. Derek D's on. Derek, where are you from in the world again? I forgot. Legs for days and booty like. Why men loves thick. I don't think all men like thick women. That's not true. Mm-hmm. Not all men like thick women.
Yeah.
Because there's a fine line between being thick and being fat or being sloppy. Mm-hmm. I think there's a difference, but I do think that thick is in style. It's just a preference or not a preference. If you like it, like Azam said, I like skinny. It's just a preference. It's just different. But not bones. Yeah. What you might think is skinny, someone else might think is bones, right? Oh, Baltimore. I'm sorry. I don't like thick, but thick is in style. Why would you say it's in style? Because it's in videos? Is that what it is? Is it because it's in hip-hop videos? Someone was telling me, I think I told you this before, I live in California. That they're getting booty implants, basically like inflated implants in their asses. I haven't seen that over here, but where you're just like, wow, is that even real?
Oh, like a big butt?
Yeah, but like it's implants.
Yeah, I saw that in what internet viral that a guy washed what a woman back like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's Kardashian.
Yeah.
Everyone knows her, right?
Yeah.
When a girl is a walk with a little bitty itty waist and a round thing, and wow, that sure makes a lot. That's old school. That's really old. That was one I had on single cassette when I was maybe 6 or 7 years old. It's all over the vids and Instagram. It's a preference. It's not a preference. It's not a game changer for everyone. Like I said, I think it has a lot to do with, some people might be influenced by that, but who you've been with, who you've been with in the past and what you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
You guys prefer women who dress fitted clothes or more loose clothes, but very classy and modern. Well, that's a.
That's a style, I think.
I'll tell you what I always think looks good is when a woman's dressed in business attire. So I would say tighter clothes. Short or long term. Yeah, good point. No loose clothes like these ripped so-called mom jeans.
I never measure on that, on the girl how she dressed like. I just only focus on the something that's.
Elena, let me ask you this one: 22-year-old Brazilian woman who I'm sure is attractive. Giving you the benefit of the doubt here. What about? I talked about this a while ago. What about sagging? Do you find that attractive when a man sags his pants and they're hanging below, like they're hanging below his ass? Do people even do that, Azam, in Saudi Arabia? I'm just curious. Is that even a style over there? Maverick would love to get involved with a girl if her divorce isn't final but has been separated for a year. Sundress. Now we're getting way too specific. No, they don't, Azam says. There's no sagging in Saudi Arabia. No, Elena says on the sagging. They do here. Do you sag, Derek? I don't want to offend you. I just can't believe that when I went back to California, how many people were doing it. I remember in high school, like I said, baggy jeans were in, which was like Silver Tab Levi's was the name of it. But like to just, the crazy thing is people are wearing slim jeans and hanging them off their ass with a belt. It's just, it's just a bizarre. I mean, like I told people, maybe that just shows my age that I'm not cool enough. I got a new belt buckle. That's right. What do you mean? So sagging is like basically when your pants are hanging below your ass. You go with boxers on. It's not bare cheeks or anything. It's more. It's like that. And you say you've seen it in Thailand?
Yeah, some guy did. Some girl
Very
did.
rare. A girl doesn't do it.
Just do it for fun. That's it. Like in the bar.
God. Yeah, I don't think so.
She don't do it like for serious, but she just do that for the funny things. Because I saw that she did just only 1 hour. After that, she changed. She changed the clothes.
Okay, that's too much information. I always dress well when I go out. I can't stand this gray track pants look people wear to the stores. Well, I'm just saying the idea that people sag their pants. It's like, oh man, that's a bit, and it's a style. It's very common. I mean, I couldn't believe this guy had like a brand new hat on. He looked like Justin Bieber, by the way, just to give you some context on how the dude looked. He looked like Justin Bieber,
Justin Bieber?
Yeah, and he had a belt on. He had like his jeans were like pressed. They were like semi tight, and he had it. He had the belt constructed so that his ass could hang out. It was just like, wow. Sagging originated because people didn't have belts or they didn't have like their pants would fall off supposedly. But my mom said whenever we sagged, we were asking for an ass whooping, so we kept our pants up. Yeah, parents never liked sagging. Like I said, I remember like it was like when I was in middle school or something, people used to wear that or something. But like, wow, that was one that I was surprised came back. It was a little bit surprising to me. In a prison, it's sign and say, yeah, I've heard that before too. I've heard that before too. I don't know if that's. It's the origin of sagging. I'm not going to confirm that, but I have heard that before, so I'm not positive on that. No, not necessarily. Not the way it's done. That's true as on bottom side. How do we get into these kinds of things on the podcast or the live stream off?
Well, yeah.
But
talk on that. What do you think of ripped jeans?
Ripped jeans?
Yes.
Not nearly as bad as saggy. I mean, if it's not my thing, I actually have a pair of jeans that have some holes in them that were Levi's or something, and sometimes I'll wear them. But it's not like one of those things where I cut the holes in them. Actually, they ripped on their own, if that makes sense. But I don't like it. I don't like it as a style. I definitely don't like it as a style if it's meant to be that way.
Yeah, me too.
No, I never talk about my relationships, Elena. That's one of my rules on the channel and the show. So that's how I've been from the get-go. Because yeah, it wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair either way. Thanks to sagging. Ripped or frayed jeans look good on thick thigh women. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you like thick women, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Durek?
Yeah. Yep. I don't think I've seen women do it before where they sag though, but it's definitely a different kind of thing. So, Elena, 22-year-old Brazilian in Miami, do you want to do a call-in? Do you want to talk about this guy? I'm willing to do one Skype call. She says, haha, bummer. I like to wear dresses most of the time. I hope so. Dresses work. Women sag if they're, I guess so. Tomboy, I guess. I'm going to have to get into contact with some of my old clients. We got to get some people on deck on the calls. We got to get this organized. Mm-hmm. We really got to get some live calls up here. Help some people out here. Live in the moment. Lady Gaga is the ideal woman for me, petite and beautiful Elena. Not tonight. I'm currently with my older cousin. Haha, but thank you so much for answering my questions. I enjoyed it much. No worries, Elena. Good for you. Be busy. Selena didn't need ripped jeans, though. Silence.
Yeah.
It's a virtue.
So, back
A men exclusive bi-week. Okay. He says, I suggest we have a men exclusive podcast once a week or bi-weekly. One thing I might do, Coach, do you have a female celeb crush? I don't know. Crush seems like it's something that like, oh my gosh. I think Beyonce is beautiful. See, that was mentioned earlier. Oh, I like Salma Hayek. Yeah. She's got a good personality too. I don't know. Let me think for a minute. A woman I really like. My old one would be Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez is old now though, right?
Yeah.
She's kind of like, but I remember when that Wesley Snipes movie came out. Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. There was some movie where like robbed a train or something, and she was in it. And I thought, damn, Jennifer Lopez. I just thought was always so pretty, and I liked her voice. Not as a singer, just I would say Jennifer Lopez when I was younger. I don't know. I have to think about it now. I think that what's the lady in 90s J-Lo? Yeah. Man, what's her name? I'm just drawing a blank on the name. Aubrey Plaza, Lady Gaga, Salma Hayek. Yeah, Anne Hathaway. Wow, everyone's got different. Lady Gaga, no. Can you guys rate?
Well, I like Lady Gaga too. In the last movie that she played, The Shallow.
Olivia Wilde Young. Who's Olivia Wilde Young? I'm not good with names for like I have a really good memory and stuff. I'm into basketball. But like names for actresses and stuff. Some of my friends will just know, like everyone's name. I'm not really up on that the way some up in. Kylie Jenner. I don't even know. I know that's one of the Kardashian sisters. I guess I don't even know. What she looks like. I don't follow that. Aleph, the voice of reason, you're right about Gaga. What did you say about her?
I said about the last movie that Gaga have to be actress. She really have a good song on that Shallow.
Oh, you mean the one with Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
That was a great movie. It was
Yeah.
shockingly good. I remember thinking like, oh, this movie's going to be cheesy. And like Bradley Cooper's a singer. It was excellent. It was a really good movie. It's actually a really touching movie.
The song is really deep for me too.
Angelina Jolie. You know who I liked when I was younger? Because I'm just thinking, I don't really have a crush. Like, like when you're younger, it's more like that. When I was younger, it would definitely have been Janet Jackson. I used to like Janet Jackson. I wouldn't say that. I haven't seen Janet Jackson in years. I used to think she was pretty when I was young. Star is Born. I wouldn't say that now, though. A Star is Born. Burn Azam.
Tell me something, girl.
Kylie Jenner. Pretty all that. I don't even... Is that... Yeah, I don't even follow that group. I know that there's a bunch of news on them all the time and stuff like that. I don't know a whole lot about all that.
You know Shakira? I like her. She have a nice smile too.
Yeah,
Yes.
Shakira. Of course I know who Shakira is.
Yeah.
Hathaway's a wifey material. Do you know what's funny about... Yeah, Janet Jackson made really good music. I liked a lot of her songs when I was younger. What was it? The thing is, though, that are actresses, the funny thing is, people fall in love with their roles. Does that make sense? Like, who they play in the movie, you kind of think that's who they really are. So, like they don't necessarily always dress that way. They don't look like that maybe in real life or act that way in real life. But in the movie, you're like, oh, she's got a great personality. Like, people assume actors and actresses act that way in real life, but they're actually just fakes.
Well, they just act.
Which is faking it.
Yeah, because
No one likes
their job actually.
Yeah, it's their job right?
Their job is act to make to make what you believe on that.
And so I think that you're never going to see how they look naturally. And so it's really hard to judge, I suppose. But different roles make women more attractive. I'm sure the same thing applies to men, for women that are attracted to men, that there's movies where I'm like, damn, she's sexy in this movie. I can't think of what the girl's name is that's in that movie, Her.
Her?
Have you ever seen Her? Great movie.
That Philip Todd. Oh no, not Philip Todd.
Joaquin Phoenix is in.
Queen, yeah.
Yeah, where they talk on the phone. What's the name of the lady that he talks to all the time?
It's an AI. It's a AI lady.
It's an AI lady, but she's an actress.
Oh, I don't.
She's in Iron Man also.
It's a Pepper Pot, a girl who act.
Yeah, what's her name?
I don't remember her. I just only know the character.
What's her? Someone will tell me right quick. Do you guys love natural look or more glamed look? Natural. I don't know. I don't even know what the glamed up is. What is that, like 7 pounds of makeup?
For makeup and natural look, what do you think, Mac? I think it doesn't matter for me. No.
Well, it matters if you see the difference, probably.
Yeah. So
It matters on how you were first attracted to someone. That being said, you're going to have to like the natural look if you end up being full-time partners,
that's right.
which will be shocking sometimes. I've talked about that in a past live stream before. Like, the girl that became my girlfriend, I was like, oh, my God, I didn't know your eyebrows were missing. Because, like, she just had, like, she used to draw them in, right? Like, and she had a little bit there. She's a good-looking woman. I fell in love with Anne Hathaway in The Devil Wears Prada. See, it's the movie. It's the role. God, what's her name?
I will
That's going to bug me.
I'll be looking for her.
Because everyone will go, oh, yeah. Because everyone finds her pretty. I mean, some women can pull off natural, and some women need a little bit of makeup, and some women look much better when they have makeup on, and some women just overdo the makeup where it's just a pound where you see a line of where their real skin is. And so it's kind of like dressing, I suppose, you know. Biggest turnoff? What's her name?
Her name is Gwyneth Kate Patrol.
No, that's not the one I'm thinking of.
What? Okay.
The one I'm thinking of is her name's something different. She's in Iron Man too. That's not Iron Man's assistant.
She is Iron Man assistant at Pepper Pot. This girl.
Gwyneth Paltrow is.
Yeah.
Look up the movie Her
Okay.
and find the woman character. Biggest turnoff. Biggest turnoff would probably be overly needy, being annoying, like calling too often.
You mean Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Isn't she an Iron Man?
She's in Iron Man too, but she is not security of Iron Man. Pepper Pot does.
Oh, God. Scarlett Johansson has a movie made by... Look up Scarlett Johansson, Woody Allen. Look up... Just put that together.
Mm-hmm.
Can you put in Scarlett Johansson and then the next part put in Woody Allen? Google search that. Please. Thank you for the likes. We got 13 on deck. Thanks for the donations.
And Scarlett Johansson and...
Scarlett Johansson, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Woody Allen.
Woody
Allen. A-L-L-E-N.
Woody Allen movie.
Yeah, what is the movie?
Scoop.
Let me see. No.
Yeah.
She made another movie with him. I don't think it was called that. Bear with me here. Oh my God, Scarlett Johansson, look, she's 35 now? North Manuelo, The Horse Whisperer. She was in The Horse Whisperer? Lost in Translation. Match Point. And Christina Barcelona. Those two movies were highly attractive for her. Match Point. If you want to watch a movie that was seductive, wow, Match Point. Scarlett Johansson gets into it. Oscar Dahmer says, Scarlett is decent. She's a 6 to me. You imagine though, have you ever met someone that's on TV or something like that, and then you run into them in public and you're like, wow, you look so different. Have you ever met someone that's famous that you didn't know, and they look different? I think people look different than the movies for sure.
Oh yeah, it's about the like.
So you really don't know how they really do look, right? I'll tell you one other thing is how people age. Like people age different. Like now that I'm 39, I've known some people 10 years. I've known some people 15 years. I run into people and I'm like, wow, you look a lot different. You like run into them, you're like, wow, you've had a few rough years. Like people age, man. Big time. Okay, I don't know how we got into all these topics. I like Holly Berry, Derek D. What's the one with Billy Bob? I don't know how we got into this topic. Billy Bob Thornton. Rihanna looks normal to me. She looks pretty. She's good looking. A 6 as in she doesn't really appeal to me. She kind of doesn't give me a... Okay, Oscar.
So back to the topic. Where were we again?
Yeah, no, it's okay. This happens in the live stream sometimes. We get off. But she has a style, so she sets that bar. It's just like I said, if you watch the movie Match Point compared to watching like Iron Man or one of these other ones, she's just seductive. She's beautiful. It's surprising when they are shorter. Oh, yeah. Supposedly, like, Tom Cruise is really, really short.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah, you would
that.
never know, right? Because he's such a main role, a main character. You think of him in a certain way. Supposedly, they say a lot of his scenes, they like raise him up. He's really short. Really short, supposedly.
Like Hugh Jackman in the X-Men, everyone have gotta put something to make the other actor and actress gotta put something on their shoes to make them get more taller because Hugh Jackman is taller than the character of Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. Monsters Ball, yeah. Remember that on VHS. You guys love seductive women. Who doesn't? Don't you want a seductive man? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I think that actually that's a lot of women that complain about where things head with men, I think have lost a level of seduction. And then they despise other women for being good at it. It's actually a topic for another time, but like, because it can be unpacked. But I've just noticed that women want to be seduced, but the idea that I've had other women tell me, like, I can't believe this friend of mine, she just has the pheromone. She just gets men all the time. How does she do it? She's seductive.
Right.
I'll make you feel better. My homies was mad. Holly Berry's a 6 to me. Wow. I don't know if I like I said, it's hard to look at them now and be like, oh, they're a 10 or they're an 8 or they're a 6 or they're a 7. I don't know. I'll tell you this much. We were just doing a live Women Want to Seduce. If you are in a relationship and you view who you're dating to be a 4 or a 5, that's a problem. That doesn't mean that I've had 2 people that were call-ins when we had the epic 5-hour live stream on Sunday for me. It was Saturday night for a lot of other people. But there was 2 people that called in and they were almost feeling guilty to admit that there was a 4 or 5 on the attraction scale. And I was kind of like, don't do anyone any favors by discounting the fact that you're not that attracted to them. Anne Hathaway at 9? Pull up Anne Hathaway really quick, Aleph. I forgot what she looks like.
I don't even know her.
Lady Gaga at 8, Salma Hayek at 9. Why are all the makeup and attention getting? My girl has the sex appeal.
Wow, yeah, she really look nice.
Let me see.
This
I
girl,
forgot how she looks.
I forget her name. She is one of my actress that I like. I like her smile too.
Oh God, Aleph's getting all excited now. Jeez.
Anyone who have a nice smile, I could be fall for that.
Well, you can have her. Not interested. You can have her, Aleph. She's all yours, bud. My girl has the...
But my first crush is I will allow it.
Let's pull up Avril Lavigne's picture real quick. I forgot what she looks like. Like Anne Hathaway, I know the name, but... A 4.5 and I'm being generous. she's not beautiful that much, but there's something about her that's irresistible. Yeah, there are women out there that does a woman lose value when they have kids? Oh God, man, really?
Yeah.
Still? That's really bad makeup there, though.
She is rock star actually.
Yeah, we won't fight over her. Olivia Wilde? Show me Olivia Wilde, Aleph. I don't know what she looks like. Olivia Wilde.
Olivia. Wait.
Does a woman lose value when they have kids? On the open market? Absolutely. I mean, if she has kids, she's going to eliminate a lot of guys that don't want to deal with someone else's kids. So, yeah. Is it fair? Probably not. God. Everyone has different taste, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you who had a really beautiful face is Catherine Zeta-Jones. Catherine Zeta-Jones, I thought, was beautiful. Olivia Wilde. Okay.
There is 7 billion people of this world, so that's why it's different.
7 billion.
Yeah. That's why different taste.
I'd marry Anne Hathaway in a heartbeat. Doesn't this just Avril Lavigne has a man body? Doesn't this just prove how different we are and what we look at and what we're attracted to?
Mm-hmm.
This is an interesting question since we got into this all over the place.
Yeah.
Have you had a girl that you dated look like someone said they look like someone?
No.
No, you never had that?
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone always does that, like, oh, she looks like so-and-so. I'd donate for her charity. That's funny. Betty White in her 20s? Oh, that's an old school one. Yeah, but it just goes to show when we talk about this how everyone just rates everything differently. And that's, you know what that's interesting about that? Is like people that you go out with and like, oh, so-and-so always gets all the attention. They're so lucky. They look better. It's like, actually, certain people get certain attention more from just more aggressive people. Does that make sense? It's like if you put in like, think about it, dude. If you put a group of 5 women and they walk in, and the woman with the shortest skirt, maybe the hottest body, the most seductive makeup walks in, and she looks like she's probably the most sexy, she probably will get the most attention. That being said, when that group sits down of 5 and there's 100 people in the room, let's just say 100 other guys, there's going to be guys that like one of 5 of those women outside of the sexy one. They're just not going to be as aggressive. Oscar says Avril Lavigne is ugly.
What?
Oscar says Avril Lavigne is ugly. The hotter, the more bad boy jerk you need to be. So Alep's perplexed right now. His eyebrows are curling. He's like, okay, is this guy blind? He really likes Avril Lavigne.
Well, like I said, everyone had a different taste. I
Yeah.
didn't mind on that.
Yeah. Anne Hathaway in her 30s, so classy, so perfect. God, you are really into Anne Hathaway. It's so funny. It is so interesting, right? Like it is like this is just proof that we all like completely different types. Oh, that's bad, Rob. Jeez, I wouldn't expect that kind of... Jeez. That's really bad. That's deep, man. How can you be... Did you look at her mouth? You know what's tough about famous people like that? It's like, wow, like to put yourself out there is really... This is why a lot of them end up so messed up. You imagine being judged that much by society? I mean... and my little wee small YouTube channel of like 6,000 subscribers, every once in a while you get like a dig or like a negative comment, you know? I couldn't imagine like when you have like millions of people and people just go out of their way to say fucking mean things.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like even if you're really, 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 really secure, if someone says something that just gets you in the right spot, you can get defensive or hurt by it. Being a celebrity sucks. I think so, Azam. I think so. I wouldn't want to be one now. I think it probably was a lot better in the 50s and the 60s. But now I think that you can't take a piss without someone taking your picture probably. You can't take a crap without someone taking your picture probably.
Yeah, cause when you're famous, you can't even like. It's hard when you would like to spend your time with privately.
Yeah, I was shocked. Where I live in Phuket, I was like, there was all these pictures taken of Jay-Z and Beyonce in where you're from.
In Bang Tao,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
I was like, I know that gas station. I was like, that's fucking Jay-Z and Beyonce on a motorbike?
Mm-hmm.
On a motorbike, right?
Yeah.
I think they were on a PCX. I was like, what? I was like, that's 10 minutes from my house. I'm like, wow, they chase them over here in like a small
town.
Yeah, like a small town in fucking Thailand, and they got paparazzis following them in fucking Thailand.
Brad Pitt used to be in Bang Tao too.
What's that?
Brad Pitt.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, and it's just like, I was like, what? I was like, damn. Like when I saw the background, I'm like, oh shit, that's where I travel all the time. Like they're paparazzis chasing them around over here? Jeez. Someone was saying that they saw Joe Rogan here before, like a couple years ago, and they said that he had like 6 bodyguards around him.
Bloom said that actually.
Plume said he saw him?
Yeah, my senior.
Yeah. I didn't see him. Someone else said they saw him somewhere else.
Because Bloom working at a boxing place. He is a trainer.
Jay-Z's a trainer?
No, Bloom is a trainer. So he saw Joe Rogan around.
Oh,
there.
Joe Rogan over there. Yeah,
Yes.
probably. I've seen him wear some of the T-shirts before on a show. They live in Alabama. I never know. So happy Aleph agreed with me on Anne Hathaway. Aleph, voice of reason.
Yeah, as long as that girl have a nice mind, I always fall for that girl.
I'm not against it. I don't care. I mean, everyone has their own taste, right? At the end of the day, the best thing is to hang out with your friends that don't like what you like.
I doesn't mind about that. Well, if you like the same thing,
I
think,
mean, you're competing with your friends then, right? Which is not a whole bad thing, but like if you're up for it, but if the other friend always complains about it, that's always kind of like when you hang out. I've had friends like that, like they complain about, oh, well, you like her too, or this or that. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, because when we like, if we like the same, like you said, we like the same one, it's gonna be a problem. I think
It's not a problem as long as, cream always rises to the top. So, I mean, the woman's going to choose who she likes better. The important thing is not to be fighting over someone.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow. All right, we're at a point now where I think we've taken this far enough. We've gone at 2 hours and 7 minutes. About an hour if it was all over the place. But it was fun. It was good. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do a private man podcast at the future. That would probably be something we'll do like as a paid thing in a Patreon or something in the future. And that way I can make it that way. Otherwise, I will be talking every day this week at the same time. So around the start time of this, and we'll put that up. And it'll be led with personal stories that have been sent in. We can do that. Yeah, Azam, I know you're up for that, Azam. That way it could be worth it for my time too, and then we can make it. Yes, you can get more politically incorrect. You're correct. I agree with you. Yeah, no, that's an interesting thing because you could nowadays. Someone could say like, oh, this person's just political. Like now when you're on certain platforms. You have to be mindful of that because they own the rights to the platform. And so you can get kicked off for saying certain things as fucked up as it is. No problem, Elena. Keep being you. 22 and Brazilian in Miami. I'd say that's pretty good. You don't even have to send a picture. I'll just give you the benefit of the doubt. Okay? All right, folks. Have a good one. If you want to join tomorrow, I'll be on about the same time, 10 a.m. Indochina time. Congratulations to the Dodgers, who I've never liked. but I've always respected. Been to Dodger Stadium before, beautiful place. And it's about time, Oscar. It's about time, my friend.
Yes. Bye bye, everyone.
All right, take it easy.